This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Alright, what is going on, guys? Jay Shy here with another video, and today's video is going to be the Q&A, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read some of the comments that you guys have left me. I guess I'll just start with, like, I don't know if I should start with top to bottom. Should it be top to bottom? But anyway, I'm gonna start the Q&A now because starting next week I'm gonna go on like a little vacation. And I want to get like the first Q&A out before I do. But let's see. I guess let's just start with the top. All right. So the first question is coming from Spring Sierra, and it is. Let me see. I think there's 3 questions actually. Do you think we will ever get a full SMT anime? Will SMT ever reach the popularity of, say, Pokemon? And will our Lord and Savior Kazuma Kaneko ever return? And will Atlas stop doing Persona dancing games? Okay, that's actually a pretty good first question. Actually, there's 4 of them. All right. So I guess starting with the first one. So do I ever think that we'll ever get a full SMT anime? I'm assuming you mean like a series, like Cowboy Bebop or something like that. Probably not, in my opinion, only because I know SMT is like SMT has like a niche popularity. Persona gets its popularity, gets its cartoons because it's so popular and a lot of people like it. It is still sort of niche. It's not Final Fantasy-esque, because I remember when Final Fantasy 15 was announced that it was like gonna come out, or like Square did like some type of survey where they were like, hey, do you think if we came out on the same day as Persona, what would you buy? And everybody, like a lot of majority of people didn't even know what Persona was. So do I think that we'll ever get one? Probably not, unfortunately. I think in order to make an anime, it'll probably be done by the fans. Fans of SMT will probably do it, but Atlas, I think they're more on like this like kind of short-term kind of animated movie, but not like a series. Will SMT ever reach the popularity of, say, Pokemon? Probably no. No. Probably not. I don't even think that a lot of people even know that the mobile game came out. A lot of people don't even know what SMT is. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers yesterday, and she was telling me how much she likes RPGs, and she knew about SMT, but she only knew about SMT because it was labeled on a Persona 3 and Persona 4 game. So probably not. I don't think it would ever reach the popularity of Pokemon. Pokemon is too kid friendly. You know, a lot of people, even adults, like, Pokemon. So I don't think so. Will our Lord and Savior Kazuma Kaneko ever return? Boy, I hope so. Deep sigh. I really hope so, man. Because, man, I miss that guy's work. I know that he worked on SMT Apocalypse. He was like a producer on there. But he didn't really do much like of art-wise. But I know he still works at Atlas, from what I've been told and what I've looked up. He still works there, so he just does like background stuff now. But wow, man, probably, man, if he comes out with his own game that apparently he was making, I don't even think he's still making that. Will Atlas stop doing Persona dancing games? No, they will continue to do dancing games, mostly because of the fact that people keep buying them. And from what I've heard, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun games. The only thing that I think that bugs a lot of people is that I heard that they're canon. Like, I don't know how that works, but apparently they're canon. That's strange, but we're gonna keep seeing Persona dancing games for sure. That was a good question, Spring Sierra. I like that. Let's see, got more. We got a lot of congrats from people. Thank you for the congrats. Awesome stuff. Your channel is building really different. Oh, okay. So we got one from Pharaoh Status. Pharaoh Status comments on a lot of my videos. So does a lot of you guys do. Like, I read all of your comments. A lot of these names I continuously like recognize. Like Pharaoh Status, Spring Sierra, Adachi the Thought Slayer, which I love that name. I told him I love that name. Or her, I don't really know. But Pharaoh Status asks, my only question is a statement, LOL. More videos with you and the guys. Love the banter you guys have on anime, games, and gaming industry media, and so on. Well, I guess I also have one or two questions. All right, ellipses, ... Well, there's 4 dots. What's your favorite generation of gaming? First, second, etc. And some of the games from that generation that really inspired / blew you away with their awesomeness. And also top 10 demons in the SMT universe. Okay, top 10. Wow. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to make a video on that. But starting with the first question, what's your favorite? Oh well, more videos with the banter. Yeah, we're trying to make more videos, especially with the Otaku Fest stuff, because a lot of you guys like that. So yeah, we're working on that. What's your favorite generation of gaming? My favorite generation of gaming would probably be the Dreamcast. Probably. I would probably say Dreamcast, most likely. But I know I fluctuate. I tend to fluctuate between Dreamcast and so what gen is that? That's like 5th generation, 6th, I think. But no, wait, 4th, 5th? It's one of those. I don't remember, but it's 4th or 5th, I think. But or maybe 6th. I don't remember. Dreamcast generation. Was it the PlayStation 2? Did I have a lot of games on the PlayStation 2? Probably, yeah. I would probably say that like PlayStation 1 with the the Sega Dreamcast and that PlayStation 2 kind of bridging the gap. Because I had a lot of like fun with those games. Like PlayStation 1 is like my favorite console, and Dreamcast is my favorite console of all time. And they kind of bounce off of one another because there's certain games that I remember very vividly on the PlayStation 1, such as like what I'm thinking about right now is Legend of Mana. I loved Legend of Mana. I still love that game. I still have that game. I still, every now and then I'll pop it in just to listen to the soundtrack of that game because I love it so much. And then with games like on the Dreamcast, one of my favorite games of all time is Jet Grind Radio. Jet Grind Radio I love mostly because starting in my career of art, I used to do a lot of graffiti back when I was younger. And I used to skate. I never knew how to skateboard, but I always knew how to rollerblade. And I love that game. I love that game so much that every time I find a copy of it, I buy it. I probably have like 4 copies of Jet Grind Radio for some reason. And it's just because, just in case one breaks, I can play it again. And I downloaded it on my Xbox, and then I was just like, man, I can so get rid of these games. And then my Xbox broke. So I was like, I guess I have these extra Jet Grind Radios, so with that. Top 10 demons in the SMT universe. I can give you my number 1 off the bat, but top 10 is kind of hard. Number 1 is Norn. Norn is my favorite, mostly because Norn. I have this weird like thing with like time. Like I always feel like it's gonna get a little morbid right now. I kind of always feel like I'm running out of it. So I like the fact that there's like these 3 goddesses hovering around this clock. And I mean, even if you pay attention to like my comic book that I created, Hours, it's called Hours, and it's about a guy running out of time. So I'm always have this thing about Norn. I just like that demon. I guess Norn, Mara, Cert is probably one of my favorites too. Pixie, of course. I like Pixie. Principality would probably be my number 2, really, because I like Principality. Mara, because why not? Like this giant penis on a chariot. What's another one I like? There's some hard ones to pronounce that I really like, but their images are in my head. I've never been a fan of like the Frost brothers. Like maybe Jack the Ripper, because he just looks cool. Jack Frost? No, I'm a fan of Jack Bros. I can say that. Yeah, I'm a fan of those guys. But top 10 is really hard because I have to sit down and like really like sort through it. Um, but I like the ones I gave you, but I can't. It's hard to think of more. Because I'm reading this like real time because what I'm trying to do is like not like read them and like prepare myself for questions. I want to read it real time for you guys. Um, let's see. Do we have another one? Okay. Yeah, we do. Okay, so this next question comes from DSoul83. Hey, welcome back. DSoul83 is always commenting on my videos. He leaves very in-depth questions too, and I think that he's going to probably leave more. Or she. I think it's a he, I'm not sure. But I'm sorry if I get your genders mixed up. I apologize for that. Question number 3. Oh, he's starting from 3 down to 1. So question number 3 is, what does SMT mean to you? That's weird. I don't know what it means to me. But if in terms of translation, if I'm not mistaken, Shin Megami Tensei means, you know, the true goddess reincarnation, if I'm not mistaken. But what it means to me as a person, it means a game that gives you the ability to actually have your destiny in your own hands, I guess. Because Shin Megami Tensei is a very out there game. It's a game that basically lets you decide the fate of the world. I mean, the fate of everything, really, just existence and life and all that stuff. But I also think it, like, if I'm not, like, not that I'm mistaken, but for what it means to me, it really challenges your psyche because you make some very tough decisions, and I think it really brings out that core character of who you are, in terms of just what SMT is. And I think that's why I picked overall SMT over Persona. Don't get me wrong, I like Persona. Persona's not a bad game, but Persona kind of runs off of that we're the good guys and you fight the bad guys kind of thing, where SMT is kind of like there are no bad or good. There's always that blur of gray, and I always feel like SMT challenges your character, and I look for that in my video games now, because right now I'm playing a game that really challenges who I am, and it's called Vampire on the PlayStation 4, and it does that exact same thing. Like, you can level up by killing off main characters in the game by drinking their blood, and it puts you in a really tough spot because all the characters are likable. But if you want to get stronger so you can progress through the game, I mean, you kind of have to like drink their blood. Question number 2 is, why did you decide to start talking about SMT even though your profession is drawing comic books? That is a very good question. Originally, I had a channel where I drew comics, but I guess the thing is that I have like weird ADD too, which is weird. Like, I'll get into this rut where I don't want to draw anymore, and I'll stop drawing for months, sometimes a year, and then I just want to do something else. SMT was refreshing because I've been doing comic books for so long. I just desired something new, and then when my buddy was just like, "Hey, why don't you try this game out on a 3DS?" He gave me a 3DS, and it was the first SMT I ever played was Devil Survivor on the 3DS. And he knows how much I love tactical strategy games. So he was like, play this, you might like it. And the first minute I played it, I was like, man, this game is freaking awesome. So after I played that game, I started buying SMT games like crazy. I just wanted to get into that. I think the second one I bought was Nocturne. And I got into Nocturne, and I really, really enjoyed that. And I was like, hey, I really enjoy this. Why don't I make a channel? Originally, when I made my channel was mostly about me going through SMT games and kind of giving a perspective on a person who's never played them. As you can see, that has changed. But if you watch my earlier videos, I would talk about me going through the SMT games, because I noticed there was a lot of people who played SMT and went through all of them and beat them and did all these 100% completions and then just made videos about them. I thought it was just more interesting if it would be a person who's never gone through it and is fresh into the series and just wants to dive through it. So that was one of the things. It was just refreshing and something new, and I really like the series because it challenges me as like to make decisions, especially SMT4. There was a decision that I'll never forget where you have to do the trials. You have to walk down the 3 separate hallways, and you know they'll ask you questions and stuff like that. That was pretty cool, and I'll never forget that little moment. Let's see. Number 1 is, since you started reading manga, have you thought of making your own manga? I asked because I went to a Tokyo Pop panel at Anime Expo, and Tokyo Pop is a manga publisher company, and what surprised me is that all of the manga they showed off during the panel were made by European and American artists. If you took something like Death Note and placed it beside one of these mangas, you wouldn't tell the difference. It was amazing. Sorry to ramble. I was just wondering if you would ever make your own manga in the future. Yes, I've actually been thinking about it. When I first wrote Hours was actually supposed to be a manga. But I put out a poll on Facebook a while ago, and I asked people, would they rather see Hours in color? And a lot of people were saying that they've never seen me color, so they would love to see Hours finally in color, because they've seen my black and white, they've seen my other like kind of artwork and stuff like that. And most of my work was black and white with like screen toning. I do traditional Japanese anime screen toning. I don't do it digitally. I actually cut out my screen tones and paste it onto my pages. But I actually have also been thinking about doing another manga. This is like since 2013, but it is a manga that is a blend between Japanese animation and a American styled comic book art with a gorilla's kind of art style. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it was kind of inspired for me to draw because I really like Furikuri. There are 2 animes that I love more than anything in this world is Furikuri and Cowboy Bebop, and it gave me the inspiration to create this kind of hybrid. And I did concept designs on my Facebook, and I just kind of left it alone because I want to get the story right in my head. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I have thought about doing a manga actually. It's just they just take forever. But that was a great question. I'm getting a lot of good questions. Thanks, Diesel. Let me see. Let's see. I think this is a question. I think this is a question from The Maid. I think, yes, The Maid. Manga-wise, if you've ever read it, should definitely read Akira and Devilman. I've read Akira. I have Akira. I've seen the movie. That is really good. Devilman I knew about when I was a kid. Never watched it though. So I'm not too familiar with it. But Akira, Kazuhiro Otomo is one of my favorite artists. I actually got my sense of scale from Kazuhiro Otomo. He actually, just looking at his art, actually taught me how to draw scale. So I'm familiar with Akira. This one is from, I think it's Bonk, but it's written in, I think it's German or Russian. I don't know because I don't know like letters and stuff. But it looks German, and it says, "Hello, please make a DX2 Liberation video series." I would like to. The only problem is I did play that game and I wrote down some notes, and what I wanted to do was make a kind of like my pros and cons about it, and then I just kind of didn't do it because of other reasons. But I did play the game. My problem with it, why I find it kind of, it's not that it's not worth it, it's kind of impossible for me. I'm really bad at mobile games. I'm really terrible at mobile games. And I don't have like the setup to plug my phone into like my computer and set it all up. But I'm really bad at those games. And there is I never have the time to play mobile games. Because I live in a city where we drive everywhere. I don't ride buses, I don't take trains to like really dive into one of those. And I find it just really hard for me to like consume time into that game. Mostly because I play a lot of Warframe too. So I play. Yeah, I'm a Warframe guy. So I don't know why. I like that game. But mobile games are just hard for me. Because I'm always driving my car. Whenever I'm at home, I'd rather play something on my TV, that kind of thing. But I did play. I was in the closed beta, and the game has some issues, but it's actually not bad. It plays like an SMT game. But one thing I can say about that game is I never realized how much I appreciated Kazuma Kanako's artwork until I played that game. With Atlas now, it feels like SMT and Persona are starting to blend in terms of art style. And I feel like Kanako's art was SMT. I feel like when I look at an SMT game now and it doesn't have Kazuma's art on it, it feels weird. It doesn't. It's just the weirdest thing. I felt like his art style just had like it brought feels to the game. And when I was playing the D2 Liberation game, I couldn't help but feel like I was playing what's that game on the Wii U that they made? It was kind of like an RPG. Genai Ibonroku #FE, but it was called it was something else. Oh my god, I forgot the English name for that game. What is Tokyo Mirage Sessions? Good lord, I Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I couldn't help but feel like I was playing that, and it was the strangest thing, and I just felt weird. It was just weird, but the reason why I probably won't make a series on that is just because of the time. I work 10 hours a day, and on my day off, I play video games on my TV and all that stuff. And that game has like microtransactions in it, which all free-to-play games on the mobile should. But I might make like a review or something. Maybe I don't know. Don't hold me to that because I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I don't feel very confident in my ability to talk about the game. Even though I wrote notes, I took notes, I feel like I need to dive into that game for like a month, and I don't think that the game is going to grab my attention that long. And I noticed there's a couple of other people that are talking about it too, so I'm probably going to have them like take my place in that for now. Unless like you guys really want that, then I'll probably have to do it. But I think this is the last question. I think this one is. But thanks, Maid. Marcos Pisanis? I hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Hey Jay Shy, do you think you'd do a review on The Lost Child? Yes, at some point. I after I made that first stream video, it instantly got shelved. And it got shelved because I was playing Vampire at the time, and I wanted to pop it in to see what it was like. And the thing with The Lost Child is I would love to do a review. Not a review, but an impressions video on it. But I need more time with the game, and it's going to be a while. Because I'm playing other games. But I do want to do more, like a longer kind of playthrough of the game before Spider-Man comes out, because I'm probably going to pick up Spider-Man because it just looks like fun. And I haven't played a really good Spider-Man game since 2? Or no, I'm like the minority that actually enjoyed Web of Shadows. So, Lost Child is it's good. It's not that it's bad. That first dungeon is discouraging. I'm not gonna lie. The first dungeon I have a problem with because it feels like a dungeon that you would be in the middle of the game. And it's a little discouraging, but it's not a bad game. Lost Child is very good, but I think that the first dungeon and the very first boss, because I didn't show you guys on the video, but I actually did make it to the first boss, and I didn't die on the first boss, but a lot of my friends told me, yo, that first boss is going to wreck you, and I was like, is it really that bad? Because most of my friends that I know that play RPGs, they play Shin Megami Tensei, so it can't be that hard. He's hard. The first boss is pretty hard. Like, he doesn't even feel like an introductory boss. He feels like a mid-game boss because he wrecks you. Like, I didn't die, but I burned through most of I forgot what they're called, my demons. I burned through most of them. Like, he was just wrecking me left and right, and like I didn't The only reason why I even won the fight is because I kept my I was trying to like rotate my demons in and out, and then I was just like I feel like I just have to like aggressively rush this boss. And I just like started rushing him with all my demons, and he was just killing them left and right, and every time he killed one, I would bring out another one and just continuously rush him. And I'm not gonna lie, if you guys haven't played The Lost Child and you guys do play that game, that first boss, prepare yourselves. And prepare yourselves very well, because he's gonna wreck your face. He does some serious damage. He's not easy. But as for a review, maybe, because that first boss and dungeon was just wow. Like, I can understand if that was mid game, like that makes sense, but wow. Anyway, I think that's the last of the questions. If you guys want to ask me any more questions, you guys can leave comments down below, and I will down below this video, and I would do a part 2, and then we'll see how far this thing goes. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.